Hello everyone and welcome into the channel. My name is Brent. I started this challenge with just $25 a week and now we're 13 weeks deep. Plus, we just had our very first red week and what seems like forever. So stick around, we'll go over the full update and percent change in the SoFi Investing Challenge week 13. Tiny deposits, real growth, full transparency. So if you guys are brand new here to the channel, I help people build long-term wealth by staying consistent through simplified investing challenges and real transparency. So subscribe to stay consistent and hit that thumbs up, would really appreciate it. And with that said, let's go ahead and get into the weekly performance snapshot. So this week was an interesting one. My portfolio dipped by 0.42%. I'll reveal the full number in just a moment, but first, why is this portfolio down 0.42% versus VU is down 0.39%? If you guys know, drop it in the comment section below. But a lot of new investors often look at their portfolio and they're like, hey, my portfolio, while it's tracking this ETF, this exchange traded fund or index, why is my portfolio down further versus the index or ETF that I'm investing in and monitoring in, right? So my portfolio is down 0.42% versus VU, which is the investment that I track and invest in. It's only down 0.39%. So what gives? Well, in this case, my portfolio makes weekly deposits. Your portfolio could be making weekly deposits, bi-weekly, monthly deposits, and it really goes down to the timing of when you're depositing and buying shares in the market. So here during this week on Tuesday when I bought my shares, I purchased them higher, bringing up my average cost basis of my total portfolio or my VU, while the market is pretty static, right? VU is static. It doesn't get additional purchases bought in at any time. So it's just kind of staying consistent, right? My portfolio, on the other hand, I bought shares of VU at a higher price. So when the market pulled back after the Fed meeting, and then here on Thursday, it had a much further drawdown because of a higher cost basis to the downside, bringing our portfolio just slightly down into the more negative versus the VU ETF. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and hit that on the head just one more time when we go over our full update here in just a moment. Now, you guys are interested in starting your journey with just $25. You guys can join the $1,000 investment challenge. What are you guys waiting for? It can be done on any platform. It doesn't have to be SoFi. All you have to do is download the free tracker, which there's a pinned comment down below where you guys can download the free tracker. There's two different types of trackers. One is a PDF, which we used in the past. You guys can download it, print it out, add your weekly deposits of how much you want to invest, what is your total balance, kind of keep track of it on a week by week basis. And then the next one is a Google spreadsheet, which we've updated and we'll showcase here in just a moment, which you're able to once again kind of track it on a week by week basis, but it has a little bit more detail. It's online, easier to use versus something that you'd want to print out. Now, if you guys are interested in getting started with SoFi Invest, SoFi Invest has this cool little referral thing right now where you guys sign up. You start with $25 invested into your account, and SoFi gives you $25 as a bonus. For a lot of new investors, there's a lot of other platforms out there, such as Robinhood, M1 Finance, Moomoo, Public, which offer different referral programs as well. If you guys are interested in checking out any of the platforms, there'll be links down below. But full transparency, I don't use a lot of those platforms at the moment. I mostly just use SoFi, M1 Finance, Fidelity, Schwab, Merrill Edge, right? There's a lot of platforms that I do use, but I'm not currently using Public, Moomoo, or Webull, or some of those other ones, right? I've used them in the past, but choose not to use them right now. If you have any comments on them, you guys can drop them in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So jumping ahead, our week 13 progress update. Our base investment moved from $375 to now $400 as our base. That's how much we've deposited into the account. Our previous week balance was sitting at $396.48. We added $25 into the account, plus this market this past week moved down a little bit. So our current week balance is sitting at $419.21. Now, this week we did purchase up some new shares. Once again, pat on the back, right? Every time you purchase up shares, that is great news. You want to be purchasing shares and shares and shares. We purchased 0.042 shares, which is actually the least amount of shares that we've ever purchased in the history of buying into this ETF. Now, our previous week of full shares was 0.67877. Our new full shares that we're owning as of this week with the new additions is 0.72137. So Boom, we went up 4% in our total ownage towards our goal of 1%, or like 100%, right? We're 72% of the way to earning and owning a full share. Not quite there, but we're almost there, 28% away. You can see here down at the bottom, we deposited $25. We made our buy here on Tuesday. We purchased $486.85. That's where we purchased VU at. Today, it's trading at $580.68. So this kind of goes back to our previous slides where our portfolio moved down 0.42 versus VU moved down 0.38%. So because we bought in at $586.85, that bumped up our cost basis and our total shares, right? We kind of owned a little bit more shares. So when the market moved after the Fed meeting, it kind of moved our portfolio a bit further down versus if we had just kind of not invested anything, during this week, our portfolio would have just moved along with what the ETF moved with. But generally, it's better to continue dollar cost averaging, whether it's at market highs, market lows. It's often better just to kind of deposit greater amounts at market lows, but right now we're still trading at market highs. So we're sticking with our plan, dollar cost averaging on a weekly basis of $25. And I'm not making any big deposits at the moment. Now, jumping into our progress towards our goal. As we said earlier, we're at $419.21 towards $1,000. So that makes it at a 41.92% of the way there to making our first $1,000 in this account. So this is our new investment tracker. This is a Google spreadsheet. You guys are available to get it for free by the link down below. So here we just kind of entered our update here for the 13th week. On the 28th of July, we deposited $25, bringing our cost basis or the base deposit to 400. We picked up 0.042 shares, which is the lowest amount of shares that we've ever purchased with that $25 deposit. And this is the highest purchase price that we've ever bought it at. I'm really looking at the differences here where we first started this challenge at $520.69 and where we bought it today at $586.85. And there's a really big difference there, right? There's $66 difference there between where we purchased it at the beginning of this challenge and where it is today. If we had made a really bulk buy at the beginning and just kind of let it sit, that could have been better off, right? It would be up nearly 8-10%. But dollar cost averaging really builds wealth long term because today's market highs is going to be the futures market lows, support, or even non-existent. Like we're not going to go back 10 years. Potentially, we might, but for the majority of the time, we're not going to like revert back to 10 years where the price was at. These prices today that you're going to see are not going to be seen in the future. You're not going to see the VU at $586, maybe 10, 15 years from now, potentially. We're hoping, hoping. So let's go ahead and continue from there. That is essentially all I wanted to cover in today's video. If you guys are interested in checking out the full playlist of where we started back on week 1, you guys can check out the full playlist. It's like a mini journey of building wealth, $25 at a time. And again, be sure to tune back in as this is the very first red week that we've had in quite a while. I'm really hoping to see much more red out there in the future. That allows me to buy back more shares at a, bigger amount of shares with that same amount of equity depositing. And of course, for every thumbs up, right, if we're getting 5 thumbs up this video, we'll go ahead and double next week deposit from $25 to $50 deposit, and we can go ahead and grow this portfolio together. So that is it. If you guys are interested once again in checking out the tracker completely for free, check out the pinned comment below. There'll be some other platforms from SoFi, M1 Finance, Moomoo, Webull, Public, and many more. So that is it for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.